Alright, so it's the weekend again. Let's get back on the 55 Pontiac wagon. The thing is where I work a normal job, I only have a weekend at right now to work on, I'm gonna kill this dog, to work on this Nomad. Well, it's not a Nomad, it's a 55 wagon Pontiac. I love it. Its name, as far as I'm concerned right now, is Buddy Holly. So this is Project Buddy Holly. Yeah, but this weekend we're focusing on the firewall. Let me flip you around here and we'll show you what I'm going to do. So, this weekend's workload is going to be welding up this firewall. There's a ton of holes and everything. This is holding my brake booster bracket and pedal bracket right now. This is all got to be welded up, but this square shows me where my pedal assembly is, because I'll have to recut holes and everything for it to make it fit. But all of this I've got to make patch panels for, little plugs. There's actually a big hole under here that's the original brake booster, I believe. That's going to get a patch panel made for it. This is the original wipers. I think I'm going to leave them. I'm going to weld up everything else though. All these holes are going to get welded up. Weld this up. Weld these up. This one isn't. That's the blower motor hole. And I don't know if he's going to put a vintage AC system in here or what. So I'm just going to make like a plate, a panel for this. And pop it right on there. So that way, if he ever decides I want to go back factory heat and air or whatever, factory AC, factory blower, whatever, that's an option there. And it's out of the way, you really can't see it. It's not a big deal. But everything else, yeah. These three holes right here, I'm leaving alone. That goes to this awesome underhood light, which I'm definitely going to hook back up. And everything else should be basically good. I'm going to take a hammer and flatten this lip out just for the sake of the LS, just in case it's a little tight of a fit. I don't know. I will have to figure out a new shift linkage. I'd like to get a cable one for this, but I don't know if we'll have the room. So, you know, because it has a big old bracket that bolts on here and, you know, and all that stuff. I don't know exactly what this does. These are things, you know, I've never worked on a 55 Pontiac wagon. 55 Chevy, probably a lot different, okay? But this one, yeah, it needs a lot. It needs a lot of stuff done that I don't know yet. I don't know about engine mounts. He's supposed to be bringing me those probably when he picks up the motor. I'll probably need to get a hold of him today. See about when he's going to bring me some stuff. But yeah, all this stuff's got to get cleaned, power washed. It's all getting painted a satin black. I think that's what we said, a satin. I was thinking about painting the frame a gloss black and then satining the inner wheel wells and core support. But the core support right here is gloss, so I don't know yet. I'll worry about that when time comes, because I still have to pull all this wiring back, clean all that. But this focus right now is on this, the firewall. And it all starts by letting them pedals back down, because can't do nothing with that right now. So that's what we're working on. We're going to concentrate on, what am I kicking here? The cherry picker. Yeah, but concentrate on this today and this weekend, which I'm probably going to get it done pretty quick because it's looking pretty easy. I got to make, well, it's the time-consuming part is just sitting here making all these little holes. They sell like kits you can buy online where you can just buy plugs. But I'm going to do that. I'm just going to make each one. I want to definitely build a big one for this, big one for that. This has to be flattened and pinched back together because it's kind of pop free. Clamp it, weld these two back together, which I had spot welds on it before, but yeah, I want to weld them back together. Make this as flat as possible. And yeah, that's where we're starting with the big patches, because these little patches are going to suck. Insulation in there I'll have to pull out of the way to make sure the car don't catch on fire, or soak it down with some water. Either way. But let's get busy. So I'm looking at this firewall and I'm getting ready to hit it with the roll lock on a 90-degree grinder. Would it be easier to just cut a perfect square here? Or not a perfect square, but a square. It's not even a square. It's like an L shape piece. And just do one whole filler piece? Would that make it easier? It probably would. Instead of, patch here, then all these little patches. And then trying to keep it straight because it's already pretty, bent up nasty through here. So I might want to go ahead and just make a full piece out of some steel with some ram board to where I can get, it halfway decently stronger. And if I look, I can probably come to like right here. So I can eliminate these holes, everything to make it faster. But I can cut that. And I still got my template over here for my brakes. And I can just lay that onto like right here. And that shows me exactly where I need to be. Yeah. I think that's my best bet, is to cut this whole piece out in one square, just like right through here. I will still have to make something for these unless I just follow it, but that makes it a little bit nastier of a weld up there. But that's what I'll do. I'll make a full piece for this. I'll mark it out of the ram board and we'll just cut it out and weld it in. Make it a lot quicker, a lot cleaner. So, just made my patch panel here, and I made this the most difficult way you possibly could. To be honest with you, the best thing you can do, put masking tape over all this, mark out what you want, pull it off, then put it on your ram board and cut it. Me, I held this thing up there and cut it about 55 times till it fit, made a boo-boo, put some masking tape on it, and then fit it the rest of the way until it was right. That's the long way to do it. But, got the grinder out. Got ear protection, hand protection. I wear glasses, so I don't need any other kind of eye protection. So I'm going to go in here and pull this brake part out, the pedal assembly, and I'm going to slowly cut all this out. I guess I should mark it too. I forgot to mark it. I got to mark it, cut it out, and then we'll go find some steel, which I got plenty over here that's made. I've got hoods and stuff. I'll show you. I keep all the extra metal off stuff I tear apart. Don't worry about that junk. But yeah, I got a whole roof. That's actually a really good hood. I should probably not cut it yet. I've got fenders. I've got, these are quarters off the Caprice, which I'll probably use first because those are, basically completely garbage. The hood's good. The roof's completely garbage too, but I keep all that stuff for this specific purpose. Or maybe one day I'll wake up and I feel like I want to make a custom air cleaner for something. So, I'll get up and make something like that. But anywho, that's what we're going to start on. We'll cut that out and we'll bring in a piece of metal, cut it to our panel, start, welding everything up. This should be a fairly easy, straightforward process, other than the fact that it's time consuming. That's about it. Let's get busy. with that all cut out, I've done cut out my patch panel. And what I'm going to do is what an awesome body guy, fabricator guy, Kevin Tates does, is he sneaks up on it. And that's really what you're going to do, is you're going to keep test fitting this into that hole till it just falls through it. Okay, I mean, not like falls through, but it just falls through. Like you'll have to use a magnet to hold it. And that's what it is you're sitting there grinding these edges away till it just falls through the metal, till it just falls through your hole. Now, it's about impossible for me to show you, but right now it's like pretty far from where I need it to be. But this edge, I can line up. You can just see that line start to come through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that on that edge just to where it starts to come through, and I'm going to start grinding everything else away. This I'm not so worried about because that's a triple overlap piece of metal up here. So I'm not worried about that. I'm going to let that ride. I'm going to let it just ride right up in its hole to weld it up, and it'll be good. But this, the bottom and this edge, got to do a lot of cutting on. A lot of grinding, not cutting. Actually, this edge is too far, but yeah, you can see left to right, I'm pretty close. But up and down is a big one. So, yep, I'm going to grind this corner away here and some of this bottom right now. I'll cut you back on after I get it, ground and fit and everything, because you know what to do here. A lot of grinding, a lot of test fitting. A lot of grinding, a lot of test fitting. Alright, so I have it test fit the way I like it. I can't really hold it in there right and try to film, but it's all good, good, good. I left the little corner here just to make a little bit of a stronger edge and to help hold it, so that way I ain't got to fight it. But this will get pushed out. It's actually right level with it. I just can't pull it out right this second. But that's basically ready to tack in. I'll probably use a screwdriver and sort of move it over a little bit. No, that's good. That's good. Right where it's at. Let me see. Yeah, it might need moved over just a smidge. Just gonna fall out. Told you. But yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to fire up the welder and tack this baby in and sort of get it how I want it. I'll probably get a pick out and stick through this hole right here to help pull the panel flush with the rest. So it'll be flush welded all the way here. Then up here where you're not going to see, it's going to be tacked to the bottom of this. And I'll just grind a nice line in it. But yeah, patch panel's made, ready to go in. now that I am fully blind, instead of only partially. No, I'm not blind. It's just, I'm used to welding with no hood on or nothing. But this is basically done. And as you saw, I tacked it in, and then I started doing inch welds in different spots. And I got a little excited on the top here. I just wanted to get it done. But that's that patch panel completely made. That's the hole for the booster. I still have to make some little bitty patches for these holes here because they're just too big to fill up. I also went around and shot some of these while I was here and plug welded those. I still need to do a plug weld here. 2 more patches, that one. Plug, plug, plug. So I still got plenty to do. Plug that one too. I didn't even notice that one, but I'll do the rest of those when I do these ones tomorrow. As for tonight, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let this cool completely. And it's going to require a bit of grinding, but what I'll do is I'll take my flap disc and flap this flat. And then I'll take the edge of my cutoff wheel and I will use it to remake the body line like this. Just until it's nice and square and looks about like this right here. And then that will be basically done. This I'm not really worried about. But yeah, it's actually cool already. But let me tell you what, that Art Captain MiG 200 is a godsend, man. Compared to my Hobart, I couldn't have done this with the Hobart. I would have had, it would have just been like zap, zap, hole, zap, zap, hole, zap, zap, hole. This one, I ran a bunch. I ran that one, good. Ran another one, good. Now when it got gappy, I did have to do a little but no big deal. It is great welder for $3.99. It's a killer welder. I love it. I have never been more impressed by a cheap welder in my entire life. But that's it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll come out here and make some more little plugs, and we'll basically have this firewall ready to start grinding, sanding, and priming and stuff soon. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. So it's the next day now. That's knocked out. I'm going to start making my little plugs for here, which is just going to be a pair of 10 snips and cutting little shapes to fit there. These ones I'm going to make like actual plugs for. Like they're going to fit in there perfect. These ones are kind of can't do anything about trying to fit a plug in there. So I'm probably just going to put a little piece on it from behind and weld it in, both of those. Because you can't really get to any of those to put a little piece in. A couple of little zap spot welds. And the only big one left is this one down here, which I believe is the brake booster. Actually, you know what? I just noticed that pedal one too. Yeah, so the pedal and brake booster ones are the big ones left. I'm going to knock them out real quick. And we'll move on with sanding. Well, not sanding, but grinding. Because I have to grind all this stuff down to make it nice and smooth. Which ain't no big deal. These little plug welds come off quick. These ones, because of that sweet welder, knocks these off pretty good. They're not hard at all to get off because they're so flat. A lot of them are, except for in this corner. And I'm probably going to later on make a little cover for this because I don't know if he had... Sorry, I got the hiccups. If he has it. So I'll make something just to cover these wires. Just something that comes down like that. No big deal. But to cover that, make this plate later, because that's going to be put on separately after I paint it. I've got a lot of crunchiness over here I need to address and hit, because I want it to be as nice as possible. Though it's not like a shaved firewall or nothing, I still want it to be as nice as possible. But let's get busy. I'm going to start with these big ones down here on the bottom. So this time I did the tape trick. You know, you tape your holes and pull them off. It just so happened they turned into a set of eyes. I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, this is the hole for the booster. This is the hole for the pedal. I gotta cut these out now. And yeah, I'm just gonna mark around them because this is the tape itself that I marked the hole with. And I just cut them out with a pair of scissors. And now I'm mark these Sharpie. And you ain't gotta be real nice with these. You can be messy around the edges, because when you pull the tape off, you got your perfect circle. So. I was talking to Kevin Tates this morning about his Camaro. God, he's got a long way to go. It's a lot of work. But, you know what? You can do it. It's all up to you, okay? So, the guy actually who owns this car can do this work, but he's too busy. So, thank God for me. Well, thank God he is busy, because or else I wouldn't have nothing to do. Well, I would. I still work, so. But this is extra money for me to waste on either more cars or more guns. Because that's what I buy. I have no other addictions. Cars and guns. I guess I could be tools. You know, there's, what, 5 toolboxes in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other side. So yeah, 6 toolboxes. I guess I have a tool thing. But this is the actual factual thing, is those tool things are just to help my car thing, which is just me being crazy, because I absolutely love it. Alright, I'm gonna get the grinder out, strap on my gloves and earmuffs, and we'll start cutting these out. Well, I've gone ahead and saved you guys copious amounts of time of fast forward by watching me make all these little patches and weld them in. Everything is welded now. This patch is done. These little patches are done. The 2 patches down here on the bottom for the brake booster and the throttle pedal's done. I will put a new throttle pedal hole in it, of course, for the cable throttle, unless he goes with a electronic throttle pedal. We don't know. I don't know yet. But yeah, this one's welded. This one's welded. All the other holes I did over there, or I did that were there, are welded. But now comes the absolute funnest part you'll ever do in your entire life. Grinding for the next hour. Yep. So, let's get some real good fun going here. I'm going to save you guys the trouble of watching me grind this, because by now you should all know how to grind some welds. I got a flap disc on there. I also have my 90-degree roll lock inside the car that I'll bring out here and use. It helps for shaping these tight corners a little bit. But this corner right here I'll probably have to hit with a lot of little things to get it to round over. Even my carbide burr will have to hit that a little bit just to help me knock it down quick and get it done, because it's a lot to do still. Lots of grinding and hopefully no more welding, but just a lot of grinding. Left little holes for the light over here. That's this light right there. That's an original glass light. That is the wiper hole, of course. I think I've said this a million times. Sorry. But yeah, now comes the fun part. I said time to do a lot of grinding. Hopefully get most of this grinding done tonight. And Tuesday, I have Tuesday from Sunday off. And I will hopefully have this thing pretty much cleaned, primed, painted, the whole engine bay by Sunday of next week. So, got a lot to do. But the only 2 major things I still got left to is make this panel and make this cover. Make this cover. And that's it. The rest is just paint. Primer and paint. All of it. So lots of sanding still. But stuff like this, you ain't really got to get super duper, like sanded down bare or nothing like that. We'll hit it with some high build just to make it smooth out a little bit. Ah, crap. I just remembered I got to weld these up and these. Well, I guess I'm turning the welder back on. But, anywho, those are just 5 holes we can knock out real quick. There's none on that one. So, I'm going to get these, and I'm just going to save you guys some time you don't need to watch me grind for the next couple hours. So I'm just gonna crank up the jams and do my thing. Well, I saved you guys the trouble of watching me use every freaking tool I have to grind this thing down. I even got these bad boys out. Those are probably 15 years old, and I've never used them. But they come in real handy when you're getting into corners like that, like this one, because you really ain't got no other option. You can't use a flap disc, you can't use a roll lock, you can't use the edge of your grinder. So you have no choice. But all the grinding's done. So now we move on to more fun. Yeah. You can tell by my voice how much fun it is. It's very much fun. It's time to sand. We have to sand this entire firewall down. These inner wheel wells got to be sanded. I've got to get some sort of converter for the rust here and down there. But it's actually, I don't think it's going to take very long. I'm probably going to clean up all my tools real quick that I'm not going to use now. Probably should hit all that stuff with a grinder first to get that crap up. But yeah, we're going to hit this whole firewall with 80 grit to knock it down quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I'm probably going to hit it with some, what's up, Gizzard? Shop cat in the house. I'm probably going to hit it with some high build primer. I don't know. What, man? I'm busy here. I don't know which step I'm going to go here. It might need to be epoxied. Then I need to use the filler on it. Then the high build afterwards. I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to get it perfect. Like, because it don't need to be perfect. Like, the body's not perfect, and he said he's not going to paint it, so... What? I'm going to murder you here in a second. I am busy. Yeah, love you too, okay. But let's get to sanding here after I clean up everything. So I got what I could with the DA, which is quite a bit of it. But it's hardly any flat. It's like, that's flat, that square's flat, this square's flat, little flat, flat, flat. Everything else has shape to it. So, you know what that means. But wow, yeah. Lots and lots and lots of hand sanding. This sucks. I mean, it sucks. But it's got to be done. I was thinking about taking a wire wheel to it also. Just for the simple fact that this is like, the black on here is spray paint on the firewall. This is not spray paint. That's factory. I hit it with the DA right here. Didn't touch it. But that's all I was trying to do, is knock what I believe was spray paint off. And as you can see, it comes off like nobody's business. It is just hardly on there. Now that I think about it, I probably could have power washed it and it would have came off just as easy. But whatever. We're here now. We're going to continue sanding all of this by hand now. Got a little rot repair right here to do. No biggie. I've got some rust over here that I'm going to have to wire wheel. And I'm probably going to, as I said, epoxy all of this. Just to stop anything from happening. So, but, yeah, I'm fighting around many shapes here. Believe it or not, the easiest part's probably going to be this top part. The rest of it's going to be, as you can tell, just, I mean, I'm going to be sanding forever. There is so much to be sanded, epoxied. Then we'll have to start body work. And then before we get the paint done, I will have to drill this hole through. So I'm not going to bore you with me sanding. I'm just going to show you the end results, which is basically going to look just like that, but cleaner. Well, thankfully, this wire brush did a ton of the work. But yeah, I still have hand sanded a lot of it. Yeah, it's a pain. I'm gonna have to pull this off to where I can move the wiring sort of like this direction through here to where it's out of my way. But the biggest thing that I just realized that I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to have to move this car out, which means I'm going to move that engine to where I can clean my floor, power wash the car outside, then push it back in. Fun. But I've got a lot of sanding done tonight. I'm gonna call it for the night, and tomorrow I'll get up and start working on moving everything to where I can clean my floor, clean the garage, and get ready to start slinging some primer up on here. Well, some epoxy primer anyway, the first set of primer. Then after epoxy, I'll start doing all my little body work. Then after the body work, we might hit it with high build depending on how much the epoxy covers, because that epoxy is pretty thick and it hides a lot. So yeah, but it's not going to be fun. There's a lot of stuff in the way on this side. That side, it's easy schmeezy. This side's got the harnesses that you can't do anything about. It's got the steering column you can't do anything about. Brake lines you can't do anything about. But we'll get it. We'll figure it out. See you guys in the morning. Well, last night I got the firewall pretty good and prepped. So today I have to do the fun stuff, which is I have to push the car out, clean the trans fluid mess that's still there, scrape it all up and throw it out. That's kitty litter I threw on there. Blow out all the garage, blow out all the driveway out there. This has all got to get oven cleaned and power washed. And after that, we'll pull it back in and I'll sand it again one more time and epoxy prime the entire firewall. I went and got my materials today. I also went and got my bastard or combination U-joint, which was a 1344 to a 1310 is the yokes. You can see that big difference, but it's ready to go. I'll put it in here in a minute. After I clean the garage, I went to my local parts and paints, that's what it's called. Got my box of materials. I got prep wipe, reducer, cups, epoxy primer, high build primer, or high solid primer, whatever you want to call it. Some other sandpaper I needed for this, and some tack rags. So he did not give me any strainers or mixing sticks. Dang him. But I'm gonna go put all this stuff in the garage and pop up the tire and move the Pontiac out. Well, got the car pushed out, getting ready to clean this floor up a little bit. Pull out the old leaf blower, blow everything out of here. But yeah, that was a pretty big trans mess in there. Car pushed out real easy. Fun part comes when it's time to power wash. I hate power washing, but it's got to be done. Power wash that all, oven clean it all, except for the firewall, of course. It's already pretty much clean and ready. Just got to do the frame, the wheel wells, and everything up front. But this mess first. Probably going to blow off some of the roof too, where I put the metal roofing up. It's got crap on it too. Blow it off. Get it all cleaned up before paint can even be thought about. Got it outside. Got to run and go get gas and oven cleaner. Got the garage pretty much clean. But yeah, can't do nothing without gas and oven cleaner. Oven cleaner is for the frame because it's real nasty through here and up in there. As you can see, I hit it with a wire wheel and it was brown at one point. Like, ew, that's brown, kind of brown. So let's go get some gas and oven cleaner. Well, the oven cleaner's been sitting on it a while now. Let's go ahead and power wash it off. This is round 1. There might be round 2. I don't know. It depends on how clean it comes from the first power washing. So let's see what we get out of it.
did an absolute ton. We're going to let this dry for about 20 minutes. I'm going to hit it with another can of oven cleaner, because you can still see down in there it's pretty nasty, pretty thick, oily, greasy nastiness. And after that, we're going to power wash it again, and we'll push it back inside after it drifts dry a little bit. So I'll cut you guys back on after I get it done back in the garage. Alrighty, so power wash number 2 is done. Man, there's a lot of crap on the ground. I was getting ready to put the power washer up, then I realized, hey, you know what? I should probably not put it up yet, because I probably should power wash the driveway after I'm done, because it has got a bunch of goo on it now. Literally, dirt and goo everywhere. But it came pretty clean. Still going to be a lot of wire wheeling to do on that frame and everything. But again, I'm concentrating on the firewall first, because it's a big area I can just tape off. And then I can wire brush and sand all the inner fenders and everything. And the frame. And that'll be hit with some black epoxy I'll probably have to get for the frame and everything. And then we'll paint it all probably a satin or a flat black. I'm not sure. Probably satin. Satin's what it is right now. And all this has got to get painted too, which is like, yay, fun. There's a bunch of crap on there. But I'm going to let this dry for about 30-40 minutes. Push it back in, power wash my driveway. And I don't know if I'm going to do anything else today or not, but definitely got to blow all the water off the firewall so flash rust don't occur. And tomorrow start hitting it with a little bit more sanding, some prep wipe, cut that hole out, and you know, everything else got to do tomorrow. Well, she is in, she is dry. She's starting to produce a little bit of flash rust, nothing special though. We still have some sanding to do on it, but I need to get all that cleaned first, because it all has to be wire wheeled and everything else before it gets painted. Probably going to epoxy that frame too in black. Might just leave it epoxy black. Might look better than satin or anything, but yeah, we got this little flash rust forming right here on the welds, you know. You can literally rub it off. But yeah, all that's got to get epoxied. Probably tomorrow I'll do it. Blow it all. I'm going to blow it all off real quick. Get it dry. And as you can see down here, a lot of rust has appeared. Not rust, I think that was brown originally at one point. Definitely on the like steering column and stuff, it was that odd brown. But all that stuff came really, really clean. It looks really, really good. Great point to start at. In all actuality, I probably should have power washed everything first, and I probably could have cleaned off most of the engine bay. But this was a mess over here, and you know, had to fix that first. So we're gonna blow her off, let her dry, probably hit it with a little sandpaper some more, try to get that run out. It's killing me, and there's some runs right here that are absolutely killing me. See that? You leave them there, they're gonna magnify. Everything else looks like there ain't no more runs except for that on top of the firewall over there. Gosh, I'm sorry. It kills my gut to bend over this. Like, it actually hurts my muscles. You know, the one muscle I have. But yeah. That one will also get huge if you don't do anything with it. So, crap, look at that. There's a little spot no, it's not. I see now, that's my light. I thought that was a hole I missed. That's my light, which is over there in that wiring mess. But I'm gonna blow this thing off real quick and do some more sanding. Get it halfway decent for tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll sand it the rest of the way, which is gonna be like up to 220, and then we'll epoxy it and start doing body work. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. You know, sometimes when you get the right playlist going, you just start hammering down. I've got this all the way to 220 now. I literally just and started going. Yeah, I knocked it out real quick. Wasn't too bad. There's a ton of different levels on here. But I think it's pretty good and ready for epoxy tomorrow after I drill that hole for the booster. But we got a lot of taping to do, plastic. I don't have any paper, I'm just going to use plastic, so squeeze me. But that'll be ready to epoxy the firewall, do the body work, then hit it with some normal primer before the paint. So, well, it's high build primer just in case there's anything. It depends on how the epoxy lays down as to if I'm going to use the high build on there or if I'm just going to use regular primer. So I have both, but I just sort of figured it might need high build. So we'll see tomorrow. But done for tonight. See you guys in the morning. Well, today has been a slow, long, arduous process of taping this car off. Got straight up. I didn't get straight up. I came out here about 12 o'clock. Drilled that hole out and started taping and plasticking. Gosh, it takes forever to do this. This is the longest part. It's quicker for me to sand the firewall than it was for me to plastic and tape this thing. But that's all good to go now. And I am trying to source me out a bowl here to clean this DeVilbiss GTI Pro light that Jeff gave me. Did you find a bowl? Yeah. Alright, Dad found a bowl. Yeah, I need a bigger bowl than that.
Well, it's pretty big.
That's not going to work.
Look.
I'd like something I can wash the whole body of the gun
Well, there's a
in.
bigger one of these.
I just, I just think I'm going to use the Tidy Cat one. I can wash it out and then just use the... Yeah, I'll just cut this up. Use it to put the whole gun in. Jeff was going to throw this away and I said, haha, no. Yeah, I can't hear you, but yeah, he's going to throw this away. And he actually was going to throw this finish line away too. And I said, no, I'll take these. This has the... I think it's got a 2.0 tip in it. I'm not sure what size tip this is. But we're going to spray epoxy through it. He sprayed like everything through it. So I'll keep the finish line for like base coat and stuff like that. I actually use my other gun. I use my spray it. This is an LVLP SP33000. And that's it uses a lot less paint. So that way for, the painter I ain't, it makes me the painter I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I've painted one firewall, so I'm going to cut this tub up, clean this gun, and then we'll be ready to mix epoxy. Now this epoxy, when you mix it, it takes 15 minutes to activate. And my paint guy said, do not spray until after the 15 minutes. So that way it's, it starts activating. But so yeah, I'll mix that up in time. He didn't give me Doyle didn't give me no stir sticks or filter.
I thought I seen filters in that.
No, I meant the strainers.
Yeah, the screens.
No, he didn't give me no filters.
So did it fall off the car?
No, I'm positive. He didn't give me no stir sticks or nothing. I'm gonna have to remind him next time.
I'm gonna have to boycott him.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna go in there and raise Cain next time.
Boycott his ass.
He always gives. You can't cuss. It's YouTube. So
Oh, I said ass.
yeah, there's 2 times. But yeah, this is a GTI Pro Lite. It says it's an ET20. Hopefully it's not a 2.0 tip. I think it's smaller than that. But yeah, he had 2 of these and he had 2 of the finish lines. And he's like, these ones are real old, so you can have that. Which I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. It probably still sprays perfectly fine. I think he said it did spray perfectly fine. It was just real dirty. So I'll clean it up like new and get it ready for the epoxy. But let's get busy. So we're getting ready to spray this firewall. Now, this is going to be the only time you'll ever hear me say this. Respirator. That's it. This is the only time. Okay? This epoxy paint is like no other. Okay? Like me, if I'm wearing glasses, because, eyesight. But anyway, that epoxy lands on my glasses and I don't get it off quick enough, it will eat into my glasses. It's that tough. It is like etching primer, okay? It will eat in, it will grab, it will hold, it will take it. Just like your lungs if you don't put a respirator on, okay? Only time I'm ever going to tell you this. If you're spray painting or you're cleaning your gun, oh, sorry, I got dust in my nose. Or if you're doing anything else, I will never tell you to put a respirator on. But the second you start messing with epoxy or etching primer, respirator. I wouldn't even really tell you to put a respirator on when you're painting. But that epoxy primer, that etching primer, that will be your death. But yeah, you should still wear a respirator when you paint and stuff too. But still, anyway, let's get ready to mix this stuff up. Then we got a 15-minute wait time. Then it'll be time to boogie woogie and spray this. But got the gun all clean. I showed you before. Here's an after. Check it out. It's like brand new now. Look at that. Oh, GTI to fill this. Yeah. I also have an Iwata, but yeah. Let's get ready to spray this. Let me turn you around here and check this out real quick. So, again, the whole firewall's getting it. But the inner fenders are only going to get it like in the rust areas and then raw metal areas. The rest of it, not too worried about. It's an engine bay. It don't need to be perfect. But everything else, and you can see I've got aluminum tape right here, ducting tape. Aluminum ducting tape, not duct tape. Aluminum ducting tape is your best friend because you can block holes and it stays rigid. You ain't got to worry about it. So, got it there, there, there. Not worried about there because over there I have to make a cover for and that'll come afterwards before paint. But yeah, the only part I'm worried about is this line right here. That's it. So, I'm going to schmack that all with epoxy. I'm not worried about the gearbox or nothing like that because it's going to get painted eventually too. Just like the frame and everything, it'll get painted afterwards. My number one goal this weekend was to get all this done. Well, not this weekend, this week. I don't think I'm going to make it. It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to mix up this epoxy, spray this, the raw metal over here, and this rust, just to where it encapsulates it, kills it, and I ain't got to worry about it when time comes to actually paint. So, again, none of this stuff I'm really worried about. That'll come afterwards. Not worried about sway bar or anything like that. So, let's mix some paint. Alright, that's mixed up. That gives us 15 minutes to set my camera up, get my respirator on, and get ready to spray. So, here we go, Mario. Gun's pretty much ready. Respirator's right here. I'm going to set you guys up somewhere high where you get a good visual, hopefully. But, yeah. Put the respirator over here. Oh, I need to drag out some hose. I got a hose reel, so it ain't exactly dragging out, but pull this around to where I can get to both sides of the car easily without touching anything. It's hard to do one-handed. There we go. Enough hose. Alright, I'm gonna set you guys up. I mixed up 9 ounces to start. Hopefully it don't need a lot. I don't know how much it needs, but I just mixed up. It's 2-to-1 ratio on the mix. So I put in 6, added in 3, 9 total. It's 2-to-1. Alright. But I'm going to set you guys up somewhere high here. Right here. And we'll get you washing. So. will. Basically, after I sprayed it, I said, gone, because them fumes will kill you. It's been about an hour. I wanted to come back out, update it, show you how actual really good it looks, even though I still got body work to do on like my weld holes over here and over here where I welded. It's all got to get body worked, but you want to epoxy it first to seal in the rust, or not seal in the rust, but to seal the metal to where when you do body work, it don't have any kind of reaction with your fillers. This hole right there and that hole and this other hole right there is my brackets like these, and them three are my light, and that is the wiper motor. But other than that, super clean, super nice, super happy with it. It looks like I did not get down there all the way, but it's alright. There's still some other primer gum, and I got a little dusting on it. That should be good for now. But, yep, tomorrow we'll start body working. There's a bug in there. It's mostly dry. I can still feel a little bit of stickiness to it, but looks good. Gonna perform absolutely amazing after I hit it with some filler, sand it, make it look real nice, and we'll be ready to probably just use some regular primer on it instead of high build. Probably won't need that high build now, but yes sir, I'm very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. I'm behind the 8 ball today already. It's about 2 o'clock. Stayed up a little late last night. You know how that is. But firewall's primed. Looks fantastic. Now I'm going to start slinging. Well, I was going to do filler, but I decided to pick up some. Where's my cart? Here it is. Some Dolphin Glaze. Because everything I got really isn't like a repair that needs filler. It's more of just a little areas, you know what I'm saying? So Dolphin Glaze. I actually think there might be some that does need filler, but a lot of it's going to be Dolphin Glaze. So now that I looked at it, it is going to need some filler in certain spots. Let me flip you around here. Most of the areas that are going to need filler are like through here, up on here. Those are going to need filler for sure. But like stuff like this, down through here, these will probably need a little filler, but this stuff's probably glaze. I can get, you know, smooth with that. It's not going to be perfect, okay? Just for the simple fact, it's a firewall. A lot of it you're really not going to see. The majority that you're going to see is going to be here and here. Everything else is going to be basically, you know, engine. Covered everything, so. But today, I'm going to hammer down. It's Friday. I have Saturday and Sunday to finish this. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, probably some late nights in here this weekend. But, we are going to hammer down. I have to wire brush this frame a lot. I have to sand these inner fender wells a lot. Try to get them halfway decent. And then we got to white, let it dry a day, tape it off, black all this out. So stuff like this thing's got to come off. I don't know what it was. It looks like somebody had like trailer lights, something on it. So it's got to come off. I'm probably going to unhook the horns. They only unhook from here, so we'll unhook the horns from right here, pull them. These well, that one's already broken and loose, so we'll move it out of the way. Is this one broken and loose? This one's still good, so we'll unbolt it, pull it out of the way. I am definitely not unhooking all these wires and moving them, because that's a good indication of disaster happening. I don't know what this was for, but it's just hanging loose there. Looks like a ground, actually. Where do these ones go? Marker lights probably down here in the corner, so it might be them, it might be the ground, but there's not one to this side, so 5, 4. This has got to be a ground, I would say. It don't even actually go into, does it? Yeah, it goes into, yeah, it's a ground for sure. It just goes back here, right here. It's a ground, so make sure to hook that up. But yeah, all this has got to get sanded nice on the front and the top. All that's got to get painted down through here as best as I can get it, because there's a lot in the way. We'll have to move my plastic down again. And yeah, but it's time to basically just attack. And it's going to be just filler work and sanding. Filler work, sanding. But it's going to look nice. So let's get busy.